star of our show today. He doesn't get picked on all the time. As fantastic as he is, we do like to rotate our horses. So anyhow, what Lester's going to do for you today is he's going to answer a few of your questions. I'm sorry, it's me. I'm going to answer your questions for you. And he's going to stand here and look pretty, and you're going to get to come up and pet him, of course. I'll kind of make my little spiel a little brief for you so you have plenty of time, because I can take all the questions you want to throw at me. But I am going to start by telling you a little bit about Lester. He's 13 years old, 13 years old. He used to be, as a veteran, so he's retired now, semi-retired. He still does this, and once in a while hooks up with one other horse to a small cart to walk around property, especially during the winter at holiday lights. So he does have to work a little bit, he just doesn't have to travel. But other than that, he's about 17 3-hands talls, about 1,900 pounds, so he is right there at that average Clydesdale size. But because of his size compared to some of our others, he does end up working towards the front. So he's usually going to be, used to be a lead horse, and if need be, he can kind of take a break, bounce back to the swing, have a break that show, and kind of bounce around there a little bit. Excuse me, sorry. What we're going to do with Lester, as well as all of our other horses, is give them daily feeds, daily grooming, and on occasion have to decorate them up for either the hitch or other special shows. So what we'll start with is their feeding. We feed them first thing in the morning. You probably heard some of this, but just in case not, they get hay all day long and then end up at the end of the day with another round of feed. We don't over give them the feed because of their digestive systems and metabolism. It would really gain weight really fast. So, anywhere from a few pounds a day to maybe a dozen or so pounds a day, depending on the horse. 40 to 50 pounds of hay, 25, 30 gallons of water. Much water as they want, honestly, but that's about how much they drink. After we feed them in the morning, we do want to exercise them. Exercise is very important, of course, just like for us. So what we're going to do here on property is take them around, take them for a walk. Usually try to get a good solid hour in, give or take a little bit. After that, what we're going to do is just turn them outside for a little bit, usually a couple hours or so, and more sometimes if we have the time, and just let them be free a little bit, play around if they want to. Honestly, they're not much for running, so they're playing. It's basically what can I find to eat out there. Then of course, if we do have two horses out here, they love to groom each other, so they'll sit there and mess with each other that way too. On the road, I always throw this in as part of a traveling hitch myself. We also have an option to hook them up with one other horse to a sled. That's not for show like I was talking about earlier, that's for exercise. It's a little bit heavier, they drag it on the ground, and that way they get a little physical, not just aerobic exercise as well. Once we get them inside, once again, doesn't matter where they're at, we need to groom them every day. There's one thing that we do consistently on the road or off the road, no matter what day it is, we do like to curry them first. That way we loosen up that hair, any loose hair, any dirt that might be under the coats. But the other thing is, a lot of people don't realize, it stimulates the oils in their skin. So that mixed with the good feed, good diet that they have, helps generate these nice shiny coats that they have that you get to see once in a while. Sometimes in the winter they do start getting a little bit of a winter coat, but we work with that. Once we get all that loosened up, all that hair and dirt loosened up, then what we like to do is vacuum it off. It's a little bit more thorough than just a brush, but we do have a stiff bristling brush just in case maybe we're short on time or they don't. Maybe it's not a real work day or show day. We can just knock them off with the brush, give them a break. But then we always finish it with a fine bristle, soft bristled brush, because that lays the hair down nice and soft. We're going to, of course, comb everything out, any loose hair on them, manes, tails, foretops, legs. We're going to comb everything out. Speaking of legs, the one other thing that we do when it becomes a show day, where they're going to come out here for this, or whether or not they're going to be hooked to a wagon on the road, we do need to clean up those legs. Typically, they're going to have about 3 or 4 shows a week, so they're going to get washed frequently, but you don't want to do it every day like the rest of the grooming because of the chemicals. But it does keep them white, and once in a while when we turn them out, especially on the road where at somebody's farm, it gets a little muddy, so takes a little bit of work. We use a combination of horse shampoo, conditioners, and we have a bar soap that we like to use. And then if it's really tough, maybe they haven't been washing 3 or 4 days and they got really dirty, we have a purple shampoo we can mix in. It really helps clean up the spots. Now, the only other grooming thing that we do, 2 of the things that we do, but not as frequently, once a week we'll give them a full bath, which tomorrow is their bath day. So they're all going to get a bath head to toe. Then we're also going to clip them once a week. We usually take a day or 2 to do that, just depending on how much time we have. But we pretty much clip their whole body. It's just the body hair itself you really have to mess with. It's more the head, the sheath, the back end. The things that would stand out if we didn't clip them to you guys, it would stand out. Go from that to the show side. If we're going to harness them, then what we're going to have to do is add one more thing just before we load them up on the trucks and go to the show. We're going to have to braid them. That's where all those pretty decorations come in. I have a bunch out here for you to look at if you want to come over to the table later. But we're always going to use 5 people to do the braiding for the 8 horses. Still takes about 30 minutes just to do that. We assign one person to the tails, whoever wants to volunteer. The other 4 jump on braiding benches. We start braiding their manes. It's a little bit of a roll, French braid some people would call it. We crisscross the hair with a ribbon all the way down to about 3/4 of the way down the neck. We stop there so when the collar goes over and sits on them, it's sitting on their neck and not the braid. Otherwise, it feels a little awkward to them. And their shows are about 2 hours long usually or so. We don't want them to be unhappy or uncomfortable because they're doing a great job for us. So we're going to finish that braid off with some flowers. That's purely decoration, as really is the main row. And we'll use 5 flowers, alternating red and white if we're doing a hitch. If we're doing a braid for just a 1-horse show like this, we'll go all the way down the neck and add 2 more flowers just to fill in those extra spots. Now this is pretty interesting to me is because people don't necessarily think about this. When we braid this little ribbon that we cut fresh every show for the horses to their foretops, the purpose is, you would think decoration, but honestly it's as much, if not more so, when they're out there in the wind and the wind starts blowing around, their ears are very sensitive. Obviously his is not. But what that'll do is it'll tickle them. And over a 2-hour show, that's going to get frustrating. So we don't want the horses, once again, to be unhappy. We want them to enjoy their time out there. So we'll just braid that up so the wind doesn't mess with the foretops and their ears blowing around. Tails, kind of a 2-fold system also. We'll braid the tails up and roll it up into a little bun. Once again, a lot for decoration because we'll finish it off with this pretty red and white tail bow. But it's also to keep the hair from getting tangled in the harness, or even just as they're swatting it around, hitting the horse behind them. Lester here, I might have mentioned it was a lead horse most of the time. He never had to worry about that tail. There's nobody in front of him. But still, we don't want his tail to mess with somebody else. Other than that, I want you to come over here as you're getting your pictures and petting the horse. Pick up anything you want. There is a horseshoe over here. If you want to pick it up, just be careful. It is heavy. But in case you didn't get to see the one inside, there's a couple of other features on this horseshoe I could talk about when people start petting, or if you get the question out first, I'll answer it first. When you come up to the horse, I do ask 2 things. Number 1, just for your safety mostly, that because they're a live animal, even though he's pretty much asleep most of the time, he still may want to move his feet a little bit. We don't want anybody to get their shoe polish scuffed, so we're going to go ahead and have you keep your feet about 24 inches, 2 feet away. It's an arm's length for those of you that want a visual description. And other than that, if you want to concentrate your petting to his neck, his shoulders, even a little bit back here towards his withers, that's fine. He loves scratching. If you have nails, dig in. He loves it. You see how dirty he is. If you come back, we were grooming him this morning. His head is kind of a sensitive area. They love attention. They love their ears scratched. They even sometimes like their muzzles messed with. But I know everybody wants to pet the muzzle, the little white marshmallow piece here. But we also don't want him to get tired of that either. So we really try to restrict people from doing that. but he may occasionally want to turn his head over, get in your shot better. That's fine if you do. And if he starts moving around a little bit or you feel a little nervous, just put your hands lightly on the leather, not the brass. I just polished it. No, seriously, it's for safety, so you don't get your finger caught in it. But just hold them a little bit for your pictures. But mostly, if you want to just take your pictures back here and rub them, step on up.
You guys are like